First Man was directed by Damien Chazelle, who also was the director of La La Land. I was not a particular fan of La La Land, but I do love space exploration movies, and the trailers made this movie look very good. I'm a particular fan of Ryan Gosling and some of his work. I love Blade Runner 2049. That was the first big role I saw him in. But this movie, I was not excited for it, but I was glad that I got to see it. I love Apollo 13. I love a bunch of space exploration movies. So I was really looking forward to this. And of course, it stars Ryan Gosling as Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. And this movie doesn't really talk about the Apollo mission to the moon. It talks about the family dynamic and how his journey was going to affect his family and his training to get to the ship to go to the moon. It doesn't talk about a lot of space exploration about the Apollo mission itself. It focuses more on how it's going to affect the family. And his wife, portrayed by Claire Foy, she asks the really hard questions along the lines of, what if this mission goes horribly wrong? What are we going to do without you, kind of thing. And since this movie is still in theaters, this is of course a spoiler-free review. But my biggest complaint with this movie is that at some times the pacing in it made me want to bow my head and slowly fall to sleep. That's not to say it wasn't an enjoyable movie. I really did enjoy this. I loved visually how it looks. I loved the actors and the actresses in this movie. All the performances were spot on. The soundtrack was incredible. The filmmaking in this movie, it does not look like the director of La La Land directed this. This is probably by far one of my biggest surprises of the year. That's not to say it's a fantastic movie. Again, it's very slow in some places, and some of the characters, some of the dialogue is a little bit off, and some of the moments drag on a little bit. Ryan Gosling's performance, it is good, although the camera lingers on him a lot when he's not saying a thing. And that starts to get annoying, because when the camera's on him for so long, you expect him to say something. And I'm all for moments of intensity and feeling and emotion where there's no dialogue. Some of the best scenes have that kind of emotion in it, where there's no dialogue, but you see on someone's eyes how it looks. Of course, I've never met Neil Armstrong. I've never talked to the family. I've never read a lot about him other than the fact he did indeed go to the moon. So this may have been how Neil Armstrong was in everyday life, as well as his family. So I could appreciate this movie for what it was trying to do. And eventually it does get to the space mission itself, and I'm not going to spoil the ending of the movie, but if that's how it went, then fantastic. That is really great. But if they took liberties with it and made it Hollywood, then that would be a little bit more disappointing. You should definitely go and see this movie. I don't have to talk about it very long to say that it is a very well-directed movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and given the chance, it will be added to my collection someday. Go see it. It gets a 7 out of 10 from me. It is a very well done movie. The only flaws are that it is slow, and some of the camera shots hold onto a frame for a little too long for my liking, but it is a very good movie. That is my review of First Man, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to the channel, anyone that is new. Thank you so much as always. You all have a great day. Take care.